Hi guys, my name is Donna and welcome back to my channel No Mirror Needed, where I make videos on a ton of topics such as lifestyle, fashion, beauty, fitness, anything that's going to help us live our best life possible. So if you can't tell by the title of this video, I turned 41 last month, and if I thought that turning 40 was bad, 41 really took me a little bit over the edge. So if you are in the same shoes as me and you wanted to maybe get a little bit of insight, or maybe you're younger, or you just want some advice on what it's like to turn 40, especially in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis, go ahead and keep watching this video. I don't want this video to be like a Debbie Downer, a woe is me, why are things going this way type of video. One of my first videos that I did was an envision board and how to make a successful vision board and what goes into it and the law of attraction and manifesting. And although I obviously do believe in those practices and I say my affirmations and I talk to myself and try to pump myself up on a regular basis, it's really hard to keep that kind of mentality and that stamina going every single day, especially when there's so much going on around us. And I'm a little bit of a late bloomer. I started late in life. I'm just now finding my footing and my bearings and getting like my whole life in order and on track. And I wanted to give some advice to people who are in their 20s, or what I would just say to my 20-year-old self. If I could look back and have a conversation with me, I probably would smack her around a little bit. But isn't that how everyone feels? Sorry, of course, as soon as I start filming, my camera gets filled, my memory card is filled, so I had to change that out. What I was saying was, it's like that old saying, if only I knew then what I knew now, things would be so different. And doesn't that go for everyone? Like, if we can only go back and talk to ourselves and be that little angel on our shoulder telling us what street to go down, what direction to take, what choices that we should be making to put us on the path that is what's right for us. But unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of listening to our future self. But if you think about it, if we followed a different path or we went down a different road, would we be the people that we obviously are today? So in my belief, there's a video that I did about inspirational books that you would want to read, and one of the books is called The Seat of the Soul. The thing that I would definitely tell my 20-year-old self is, or anybody out there, is pick one thing and be good at it. Pick one topic, pick one hobby that you really love and learn the crap out of it. Learn it until you cannot learn it anymore. And I think that why people are so successful is because they eat, sleep, and drink their craft. They learn their craft until they can teach it, they master it, and then they're successful in it. And that is definitely one thing that has helped me back over the years, is because I have always been so interested in so many different things. And so I would get a great idea, I would execute the idea, and then I would get like the ball rolling, and I would start like this whole thing, and I would tell everybody, oh, I started I started an Etsy shop, or I'm gonna be doing photography today, and like, oh, I have all this camera equipment now, and then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And nobody takes probably ever takes me seriously. And maybe you're in the same boat as I am. Like, people wouldn't take you seriously because they'd be like, oh, well, she says that she's doing all these things, but does she actually really do them? And the same thing goes for YouTube. You know, I started on this YouTube journey. I really like doing it. I think that I'm getting better and better and better every day. I don't know if the support is 100% there from maybe my family and my friends. I think it is, but at the same time, you still don't see like the subscribers, and you still don't see like the likes and stuff, and you're like, well, obviously if my own family isn't liking or subscribing to my channel, then how good could I possibly be? Are they not taking what I'm doing seriously as much as I would like them to? So I think it has to do with people who are so successful is because they really mastered their craft, and then they grew on that and they expanded, and that's what made them successful. Consistency. So if I could tell myself one piece of advice, it would be consistent. and stick with something and follow through and see it all the way through. Not everybody is where they want to be when they're 40. Some people never find their true calling, their 50s and 60s and 70s. Who's to say, when you are going to find your path that you're supposed to be on. I find that it's been a little bit difficult for me over the years to get that path. I never found that one great job that everybody is striving to get. Another thing that I would tell, my 20-year-old self is do not quit school. I was going to college for restaurant and hospitality management. So anyone out there who's thinking about going into restaurant and hospitality management before this whole pandemic hit, I would say do not do it. If I can turn around and stop myself from going into the restaurant business, I would 100% stop myself. It's not going to take you anywhere. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, unless you're going to be like a professional chef, you will learn everything that you need. You need to go to college to have the college experience so you can have the education of a college degree under your belt. I'm not saying do not go to college. What I'm saying is don't go to college specifically for restaurant and hospitality management, because it will not take you anywhere. Anything that you're going to learn from restaurant management, you are going to learn in the field. You're going to learn from mentors. You're going to learn from doing it over and over again, and that's really how people learn. Anything is by repetition and doing it over and over again. So you will learn everything that you need to learn in that business on the field. So if you're thinking about going into it now, it's going to be really tough because the restaurant business is struggling really, really bad. Anything having to do with hospitality is really struggling right now. So I would probably stay away from it. If you want to do anything like remotely related to restaurant or anything like that, go into business. Like I should have gotten a business degree and not a restaurant and hospitality degree. So I went and got my associate's degree, and I have my associate's degree in hospitality management, and then I went on to my 4-year college, but I needed to work. I was living on my own. I needed to support myself, and I was offered a position of stable restaurant management position with a company, and instead of finishing out my degree, I decided that I was just going to take the job because I needed the money and I was already there. So I walked out of school having 4 classes left that I needed to finish in 1999, and I never looked back. And that is the one thing that I will always say to myself in regret is I wish I would have finished college. I did eventually try to go back one other time, and work got in the way again. And then recently, right before the pandemic hit, I met up my professor again and tried to go back and finish my bachelor's degree again. And everything with the coronavirus hit, and now I am 2 classes shy of getting my bachelor's degree. So that is why on my 2020 goal board, you will see that it says finish my degree. And it's something that I always beat myself up over about. So if you are in college, do not quit college. Just finish. I wish I would have went to school. I think, again, I like to teach. I like to talk. I think that I do really well when I start getting the ball rolling. I don't know, maybe I sound like a bumbling mess. Who the hell knows? But I think I did a really good job. One of the things I did in the restaurant business was I was part of the training staff and the training team. So anybody new coming in, all I did was train them. I would do classrooms with them. I would teach them the menu, and I thought that I was really, really good at it. I helped open up different locations and be part of the opening team. So it's something that I really enjoy doing. So I wish I would have went to school to be a teacher instead, because I think I do really well teaching people. But then I couldn't figure out what it was that I wanted to teach, and back then I had no self-esteem. So I think that self-esteem plays a huge part in holding you back. And what I would tell myself, and if I tell anybody out there, no matter what age you are, is that you have to do whatever it takes to bring up your self-esteem. You are the number one person in your life, and you should always put yourself first, because ultimately you're the only person that's ever going to take care of yourself. And you cannot depend on others to take care of you, because that's just not the life that we live. And if you want to be successful, if you want to be a strong person, if you want to have strong goals and strong mindset, then the best thing that I can tell you to do is work on yourself first and work on your self-esteem. I really think that mental illness and depression can really hold you back from a lot of things. So first and foremost, you want to put yourself first. You want to get healthy, you want to get in the right mindset, and you want to put yourself first. So if I could tell myself back then that I was good enough, I was pretty enough, I didn't need to be popular, I didn't need to have a ton of friends, because let me tell you, when you're 41, you really know who your friends are. So that's going to change. Who you were friends with when you were 20 is not going to be the same people that you socialize when you're 40, because you change as a person. You grow, you mature, your interests change, the things that are important to you, they change. So you're definitely going to be a different person, and that's okay. It's okay if you're a different person than who you are when you're 20. That's the whole reason to go through life. My hair is getting better, and I have my extensions in today. If you haven't checked out my video where I talk about products that I've been using to combat my hair challenges that I've been having, I mean, I'm pretty sure that that could be a sign of turning 40. When I turned 35, so some of the changes that I have been faced with going into my 40s. When I turned 35, I started to go gray. Like really bad gray, and I've talked about it a lot. I've been combating a lot of problems with my hair, and the doctor says it is due to stress. I don't know if it is a symptom or a side effect of having COVID-19. It is a possibility. I don't know if I damaged my hair processing it and dyeing it and over processing it over the years, because I have been straightening and curling and dyeing my hair since I'm literally 20 years old. So I don't know, probably even before that, so I don't know if I finally damaged my hair and it's just finally caught up to me. And I didn't think that going into turning 41 I would be in the middle of a pandemic. I'm sure no one thought that we were going to be in the middle of a crisis like that. I mean, literally kids are graduating, people are getting married, people are just have so many milestones ahead of them who have, hit a milestone in their birthday. My mom turned 80. There's just so many things that are going on that we're going to be happy and positive things in our lives. And just so many things have changed for us. And I don't want to say like, oh, well, this is going to be our new normal now, so we have to get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. I don't want this to be the life that we live now, eating outside, not hugging each other. I just saw my family on Saturday, and only one person in my family hugged me because they just didn't care. They were like, we don't care about the virus. It is what it is. Your family. But at the same time, I was taken back because like, are you supposed to hug each other? Are you supposed to show any type of affection anymore to each other? Like, no one shakes hands, nobody is going to hug or kiss, and it's like, I don't want that to be the new normal for us. I never expected that 2020 was going to be this way. So if my hair is falling out due to stress, I'm sure that a lot of people are in the same boat as I am, and they just don't talk about it. But one of the products I started using is called Him and Hers. It's a line of hair products. Check out their website, because they talk a lot about hair loss, and maybe that is a sign of turning 40, just losing your hair. I just don't know. Like, this is just a totally new stage for me. Another thing that has hit me pretty hard when I reached like 39, 40 was memory loss. It seems that I am having a harder time remembering things, or finding the words that I want to use, or to just express myself and have a conversation sometimes with people. Even talking on this YouTube video, finding the words that I want to say, my thoughts just don't hit my mouth as easy as they used to. And I used to be so sharp. I knew what I wanted to say, the words that I wanted to use. I was very easy to express myself, and like now I just find it harder and harder to do that. And my memory is not as sharp as it used to be. So that's definitely something to, and I take vitamins, I take multivitamins still seems to be an ongoing issue. So these are just things that you have to look forward to. They're just things that you need to pay attention to before they become bigger issues. 41 is not old. 41 is like you're at the highlight of your life, you're at the peak of your life, and 41 is like the new 30. So definitely I shouldn't be feeling some of the ways that I feel. As far as like my body goes, I'm not the size that I want to be. It is harder to lose weight. It's harder to keep on track of a diet. I've gotten a lot lazier than I wanted to be. So that is definitely a challenge. And with the whole coronavirus as well, before the virus, I was going to the gym 4 and 5 times a week, and I was seeing results, and I was loving it, and I was feeling good about myself, and I was building up more self-confidence, and I was really paying attention to what I ate and taking collagen and biotin and all these great things to help me look youthful. And then as soon as this happened, I just was like, not interested. You know, I don't have the room to work out of my house. And so you're limited in a lot of things. And when you're limited, they hold you back. And I know that they shouldn't, but the reality is sometimes they do. And I'm sure that not everyone is where they want to be right now with their life. You have a goal and a mindset on what you want to achieve, where you want to be. And I am not at that place where I thought that I would be at my age. You think that, oh, I'm going to get married by this age, and I'm going to have kids by this age, and I'm going to have this great job, and I have this much money in the bank, and I'm going to drive this car, and I'm going to go on this many vacations, and blah, 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 blah. And like, when you don't get where you saw yourself being at 20, it can be a big kick in the ass, because you're like, this is not where I wanted to be. I'm going to tell you right now, if I could turn around and talk to my younger self, I would change my attitude, because I think your attitude has a lot to do with who you're associating yourself with and the doors that open up for you. If you're someone that people don't like, that you don't get along with them, you're difficult, you're not going to get anywhere, because those great opportunities aren't going to come knocking, because people aren't going to want you in their corner. So it's who you associate yourself with. Make sure you associate yourself with good people with good intentions, and that you are 100% committed to your future and getting to where you need to go so you are successful. Speaking of success, a very important thing that they don't teach you in school, number one important thing is money management and credit. So if I can turn around and talk to my 21-year-old self, I would say, do not mess up your credit, because you will work on it forever to fix it. So credit is something that is 100% important nowadays. It's what will help you get a car. It's what will help you get a house. It is something that mostly now it's all people look at. First credit, then income. I wish when I was younger, someone turned around and said, credit is important and you need to work on it and you need to make sure that it is great. Credit scores, I believe, can go up to 850. It is the best score you can have. But anywhere in like the 700 range is excellent. Here in New York, 700 is what people look at. That's what they want. I'm not certain about other areas of the United States or in other states how credit is so impacted in those states. You know, maybe they're looking at different credit scores, but anywhere here in New York, high 6s, 7s is what you want. And I wish someone would have said to me back then, you need to pay your bills on time and not mess them up. Do not put yourself in credit card debt, because it's not worth it. If you do not have the money to buy something, don't buy it. Get yourself one credit card and pay off whatever it is that you buy. So if you buy $150 worth of whatever and you charge it, make sure that you are paying that exact amount so you can build your line of credit and you can keep the credit limit down. Because once you stick your foot into that hole, it is a sinking ship. It is very hard to get out of. And credit establishments and banks want you to keep paying the interest And that's why the interest is so high, because it's what's keeping them in business. So you want to make sure that your credit is always in excellent standings. And mine was, I'm not going to lie, it was a very, very, very bad, because I didn't make the right choices and I didn't do the right things when it came to my credit and paying bills and all that. No one really explained to me what the ramifications of that was going to be if I did not stick to a budget and I did not pay these bills, or I didn't watch my credit score. So now I'm like obsessed with my credit. I follow a budget. I have everything down to the T. I know exactly what's coming in and what's coming out, and I'm never late on payment. I'd rather not eat than making a late payment and getting your credit limit reduced or having your credit score go down. Another thing that I think that I would give, a piece of advice that I would give my younger self, is don't be a jealous person. Being jealous of other people and what other people have can really, really bring you down and make you lose focus of what's best for you. Because I did that for a long time. That I made those mistakes of being a jealous person, and it does not look pretty when you're jealous. I know it's hard sometimes because you're comparing yourself to other people. Social media does not help. So you're comparing what your friends are doing, you know, how much your friends have, if your friends have a house, if they have husbands, if they have a beautiful engagement ring, if they have a baby, like, and then you look at your own life and you're like, well, why isn't that happening for me? Like, what makes those people better than me that they have that and I don't, and it's not fair. So you can really lose yourself in jealousy. And believe me, I am, hi baby, wanna come? I am definitely guilty of it. Hi. Hi. I'm talking to the people. You wanna sit? You wanna sit with me? I am definitely guilty of that, of focusing on what other people have more than focusing on myself. And that's definitely something that you should not do. Because I don't think it's helping anyone. It's definitely not helping yourself to be jealous, and it doesn't look nice when you're jealous of your friends. Or I know it's hard because, again, you're wondering, like, why has it been so hard for me and so easy for them? Like, what am I doing wrong? And you're not necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just that that's not your path. It's just not where you're meant to be at this time in your life. And it's hard to say, because deep down inside you know that you want more, you want to have more, you want to be more, but you're just not there. But you'll get there. I feel like everyone gets there in due time, at the pace that's meant for you. And I also feel like, I know I'm on a soapbox and I'm going off on a tangent, but I also feel like God does not give you too much of what you can't handle. What I want to tell my 21-year-old self, and what I feel like turning 41 feels to me. It's not what I expected. You know, when you're 20 and you look and you're like, oh my God, 40 is so far away. You're like, oh, I'm never going to be 40. 40 is so old. And then when you get here, I don't feel any different than when I was 20. Like, I feel the same. I feel smarter. I feel like I have more patience. I feel like I'm kinder, I'm nicer. I feel like I understand and I have a lot more empathy. I also feel like I have a way more anxiety now than I ever had. And that's something that I struggle with a lot, is social anxiety. Being in certain situations, driving gives me really bad anxiety. So anxiety like that really affects me. Being in certain situations and not knowing that I'm not going to have control over the environment gives me a lot of anxiety. So I definitely feel like I have more anxiety than I did when I was a teenager or in my 20s. You don't even think about that when you're young. You feel absolutely invincible. But then as things start to happen to you, as you get older and as you have life experience, then you turn around and you're like, that's serious. Like, that can cause me harm. That could be a bad situation. Growing up in New York, I had a lot of street smarts. I was a lot smarter for my age than a lot of other kids. But stick with your gut. I feel like that's something that I would definitely tell myself as well. Like, if you got a gut feeling, stick to it. Don't second guess yourself. There's a reason why you're feeling that way. It's your intuition telling you that that's not a good decision or that's a good decision. So you want to really listen to your gut and listen to, you know, what your guardian angels are maybe telling you. Because I think it's really important for you to make that kind of assumption and that specific decision. Because again, it's going to lead you onto the path that you were chosen to walk. Another thing I would tell myself, if I could go back and talk to myself, was don't listen to what people have to say. Be a leader, not a follower. Leaders get ahead, followers follow the leader, I guess. But standing up for yourself, and don't be the person that if everyone was going to jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge type of person. Like, you definitely want to not care what people think of you and just worry about yourself. I think that that is one really great piece of advice, that it doesn't matter like what other people think. It is ultimately your life that you're living, and you want to make the best possible decisions that are out there for you. And there's no need to be a follower, because followers don't get anywhere. And I wish I was more of a leader. I wish I led more by example. And I wish I was not a doer but a go-getter more. And I would definitely say to myself, don't listen to what people have to say. Don't be influenced by people, and don't listen to people that constantly tell you no. Because if you have a good idea, you have something that you want to pursue, or a dream, or something that you believe in, then do it. With that being said, I hope I was able to give you guys a little bit of advice for anyone who is turning my age, or anyone younger who may need some sort of advice and they're not sure where to turn to, whether it be about money, budgeting, school. Again, one thing that I said in my very first YouTube video was what I can offer is experience, and I do have a lot of life experience. So definitely leave a comment below if you want to talk more on this topic, or if there's more topics like this that you want me to cover. Leave a comment below and let me know what those topics are, and I'll definitely start talking about them if they're interesting to you. So I wasn't sure if I was really going to do this video, because I know this video is kind of like all over the place and my thoughts aren't as focused as I really wanted them to be. Times are different now. Times are different than when I was a kid. I feel really bad for kids nowadays who are growing up. I would not want to be dating right now if I had to be. I wouldn't want to be a kid right now in the world that we are like living in. I laughed a lot when I was a kid. I enjoyed being a kid a lot, and I think that kids nowadays are missing a sense of humor. They're missing laughter. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they don't smile and laugh and joke like we did. Everything to me was funny. Everything was comical. The shows that we watched were funny. A lot of the situations that the kids nowadays are dealing with, we never had to deal with them. Social media, we didn't have to deal with. I was clueless about protesting. There were things going on in Brooklyn, I remember, and not having a clue, but being so interested in what was going on, but focusing on being a kid. Like, I didn't have an opinion on what was going on between the mayor and the cops, and I didn't even understand it. All I wanted to do was play with my friends, play with my Barbies, go out, enjoy the summertime, ride my bike. And I feel like kids today are missing out on a childhood. We had no social media, we had no phones. I think the phones really ruined everything. When we were kids, our parents just threw us outside, gave us a quarter for the phone booth. Like, here, if you need me, call me, be home for dinner at 7 o'clock. You know, we stayed out all day long. Half the time our parents didn't even know we were. And I lived in Brooklyn, you know, so I feel bad for the kids that are growing up right now, because they're missing something that we had. And it definitely made us very smart and street smart. And I feel bad for those kids. So I definitely would not want to be in their shoes today. I feel like they're dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of adult issues that we didn't have to deal with. And I know this video, like I said, is me going off on a tangent. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm even going to title this video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And I had a conversation with a couple of people over this weekend, and they had no idea what subscribe meant. You have to have a Gmail account. You have to create a Gmail account, log into your Gmail account, and then go to YouTube, and then you will be able to like and subscribe to this video. So give me a thumbs up because it really helps me with my channel, and please again leave a comment below. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your views. You have no idea how appreciative they are. Please check out all my other videos, and if you are a brand new YouTuber like me, head over to my new series, From One New YouTuber to Another, where I give advice on what it's like to start a brand new YouTube channel. So for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video didn't ramble on, and hopefully you didn't shut it off after a minute and a half and you made it to the end. And thank you so much for watching, and for now, bye.